Tonight we have the Dragons draft order show in the time slot of our normal regularly scheduled show, and it starts in about 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Fanatically Real Broadcast, sponsored by Sport Management Solutions, your one-stop shop for your athletic communication needs. I am sorry that I was tongue-tied at the beginning of the show. I do not have a script in front of me, even though that should have been really easy for me to remember. Reason I don't have the script in front of me tonight is the show's going to look a little bit different tonight than it has the last two draft order shows that we've done, because we have had some technical difficulties around here tonight where we have had the dice being projected on the big TV across the room from me for the last two nights. For some reason, while our dice screens were on the TV tonight, it made that display in OBS super blurry tonight. Don't know why. Good thing is, though, I have the two dice screens in front of me on a monitor, and I got OBS over here. The unfortunate part is you all are all the way across the room from me tonight. So if I'm going to read your comments, I have to put these on. So I apologize for the glare that is going to be on my eyes. I also apologize for me doing a lot of my head tilting like this as I look through my old man bifocals tonight to make this happen. Let's see what we got out there for comments. Sean says, get the snake eyes out tonight. I got something funny to show you here, Sean, in just a second. And Matt Brown on with us saying, evening, folks. So before we get started, though, we cannot do this without the Dragons regional manager. And she's sitting backstage. Going to bring her in right now. MJ, how are you?
I'm good. It's season 10, episode 10, by the way.
Is that what it said? I'm pretty sure that's what it said. Okay, good. All right. And I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch the beginning of it. I realized just as I'm pushing the live button, I'm still on screen instead of the opening banner that should be on the screen. So I don't know if there's going to be a 1 second transition where you see me and you don't see me. It's just been a hell of a night trying to get this ready. And then on top of that, you and I already talked about this. As I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get the dice and everything to work tonight, all of a sudden we have a smell inside the house, like we thought the house was on fire. So it's just been a really bad night. Matt says, open the comments on your phone might be easier for your old eyes. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea, but you know me, I'm technology not smart, so I'm not sure how I would do that. That's just too much going on. In fact, whenever we get ready to do this show, which I'm having problems with right now with connection issues, when we get ready to do this show, I go through the house and tell everybody, shut off as many devices as you can, and I do it with my cell phone too to make sure that we get good enough broadcast speed so we can do this. And in fact, right now it's telling me that we're really low on broadcast speed, but whatever. It is what it is. So for those of you that are with us tonight, 4 minutes into the show, tonight we are doing the Dragons draft order in our regularly scheduled Fanatically Real Broadcast time slot. We've already done two of these this week. We are doing our third one tonight. We have the Cerberus tomorrow, and then we have the Sasquatch on Friday. Each one of these is going to be at 8:30 p.m. East Coast time. Why is it so dark in here? Maybe that's why.
You have great lighting.
I've got the ring light on, but it's extra dark in here outside of that than it normally is. Maybe that's what was on fire. Maybe my overhead lighting caught on fire, and that's why it's not working. I don't know. Anyways, we are going to do the draft order show tonight. For those of you who haven't seen it before, that you might be joining us from other social media things because you saw that we've been posting a whole lot more. What we do, this is our way of doing draft order in Fantasy Sports Alliance and what we're calling this year the Wizard Redraft League. What we end up doing is we use a draft board. We're going to pull the draft board up right now, MJ. So as we're talking about it, everybody knows what we're talking about. And let me see if I can get you and I moved down there so we can make that board a little bit bigger for everybody. This is the draft board. This is what we end up using to make sure that we know what our order of our draft is going to be when we do these. in a couple of weeks before the NFL season starts. In fact, MJ, your guys' region, y'all's region, has already picked the 24th of August at 6 p.m. East Coast time for your start time for your draft.
Yes.
That is about 4 hours before Matt and his guys in the Phoenix region are going to go. So there is about a 4-hour gap in between the two of them. That should be good enough for me to manage both of them that night. I just know that it's going to be a very long night.
We're just gonna bring wings to your house.
On over, please. Lighting's good. Appreciate it. I still feel like I can't see the glasses. I can't see the art on your guys' logos on the pieces of paper that's going to go in a hat as well as I normally do. So speaking of that, let's explain this a little bit more. So this is how we do our draft order. What we end up doing is we have this Walt Wizard hat that we're using for this year because we are the Wizard Redraft League this year. We start off with that hat and these logos for each one of the 12 teams that are in the Dragons region. We fold these up, we put them inside the hat, and then we pull one of these teams out. And I'll start folding them now while I'm talking about it, MJ. We fold these up, we put them in the hat, and then we shake the dickens out of the hat and we pull one of these out of the hat, and then we roll what you see in the middle of the screen, those two dice screen. We roll the one on the right, which is a 12-sided die, and the number that comes up, the first team out of the hat goes into that spot. And then what we do after that is we roll the two 6-sided dice, which you see on the left-hand side of the screen. We call that our action dice, kind of like playing craps, where your total will come up between 2 and 12. And whatever that total is correlates to whatever you see up there in the upper right-hand corner in that list of things that say action dice. So some things that can happen is we can move teams around on the board. We can swap teams out. We can pull teams from the board. We can flip the board. And then everybody's favorite is we can get snake eyes and clear the whole board. And Sean, here's the part that I wanted you to see, if you can see the screen all right or not, is as I finally got the dice screens to work like they were supposed to, even though they're on a different monitor, I rolled each side one time to make sure the dice were going to come up right. And I rolled snake eyes on the action dice, and I rolled a 1 on the 12-sided die. And I think that is the you see it. I think that is the sign for the night that hopefully I got that snake eyes already rolled. I've already got it rolled out of the dice. So maybe we'll have a third night without snake eyes. So for those who watched the last 2 nights, and I don't think it's ever happened, at least 2 of these draft order shows ever in a season, we did not have the snake eyes for Monday or Tuesday night for the Phoenix region or the Banshees region. And now we're into the Dragons region, and we'll see if we got that one snake eyes already out of its system and we don't have to worry about that. So I got a couple more teams I got to hold up and put in the hat here, MJ. So I want to ask you, just like I asked all of the other regional managers the last 2 nights, what was your draft strategy as you were picking your general managers for the Dragons region?
My draft strategy?
Yeah.
Well, I told you previously, I said I was drafting a rookie first, and I did, because that was my drafting my draft strategy. And then I definitely looked hard at I looked at rivals. I wanted a great group of people that would enjoy playing together, but also would enjoy wanting to get together virtually. Also having a group that was also like, it's funny how it ended up that the 3 areas that I picked from were 3 areas that I lived in. It did not, heavy Ohio, heavy Texas, heavy Georgia, but also they also have that, it wasn't meant that way, but at the same time, I'm excited because all the people that I have on the team, I think we're going to all mesh well. I think we're going to enjoy playing together. And then also, I think we're going to be active as far as in the group. And then also I even said, hey, I would really like to, get together and have our sessions, have our happy hours and things like that, and just kind of, enjoy. Because I know a lot of the people that I have picked, both in person as well as, just been playing fantasy with them. So I just wanted a fun, diverse group.
Snake eyes across the board. Sean says she just wanted to get people that would stay away from her tight ends. The man's only been in the league for 1 year, and he already knows. And then Matt says, "I appreciate you getting him and Tony in there together. He loves that move." I know
that was one of the things when I was doing that. It was just like, you know what, Matt? I'm going to tell you something. Tony and I are playing baseball, getting to know Tony, and then knowing that I lost to Tony by 1 point, and then I flipped back around and beat Tony when he was on top, number one. I said, look, I'm looking forward to playing Tony in redraft. And so, I think I have the most, I do have the most rookies in redraft in this region. I think I have 3 rookies.
I'll have to count. And I think there's only 6 of them this year. And I think the other ones are distroed across them.
Yeah. I'm not scared. I think it's going to be fun because they're not rookies to playing fantasy. So
just rookie for us. Yeah. I think the only thing that we missed out on for Matt, which was getting his father-in-law in there, getting Brian Ware in there, but it'll give you guys something to talk about across regions. So it won't be.
Oh yeah, that's true. He got sniped from me, by the way.
Yeah. So let's shake the hat up. Let's get the first team out. Let's roll the 12-sided die. Let's get a team on the board and get this thing going. Because if we do end up hitting snake eyes, we are deep into this thing. All right. So the Virginia Blackbeards, first one that's going to go on the board. Jenkins team's going up. We are going to put him in the number 8 spot. So let me get I think I labeled it as Blackbeards. I did. Let's get Blackbeards up on the board in the number 8 spot. And then let's roll some action dice. So if you had your choice, MJ, where would you like to be picking after this is all said and done?
I have drafted all over in the past 5 years from the top of the
Doesn't really matter for you, does it? You'll figure out a strategy to get as many tight ends as you can.
I have. I used to always think that I liked being up at 3 and 4, but I think last year I drafted 8th and I didn't mind it.
All right, so we rolled a 9, which is swapping teams' positions with 2d12. So I've already queued up 2 12-sided dice. There's only one team on the board, so unless we roll an 8, nothing's going to happen. We roll a 7 and a 2, which means we're going to go back over to the action dice. I will say this. It is much easier getting back and forth on these dice screens with it on the monitor here versus moving it around on the TV up there, which has a slow refresh. Yeah, it has a lag and a slow refresh. Now, it is tough. We're flipping the whole board. That's crazy. We ended up with 2 board flips, I think, last night in Matt's, which is weird because we don't normally get a 12. And then we get it twice and not have a snake eyes. So when we flip the board, 1 becomes 12, 11 becomes 2, blah, 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 all the way down the line. So 8 becomes 5. So we are moving the Blackbeards up to the number 5 spot, and we are rolling the action dice again. Number 10, it means we are going to do a 3-team swap with 3d12 dice. There's only 1 team on the board, so unless it involves a 5 now, nothing's going to happen. Now, I have to tell everybody this because this is not the same dice program that we're used to using. The other one that we used to use is no longer out there. So when we roll these dice, the other one used to have the numbers go in there. They still do in order. But I felt like that it didn't matter where they landed on the table. The numbers came up in some kind of order. It wasn't in a numerical order, and it didn't necessarily come up in the order that they were laying on the table. This program, they do come up in the order that they're laying on the table from left to right. So as we do this, we will be reading these dice from left to right. So as we look at it, we've got 8, 11, and 7. So 8 would move into the 11 spot, 11 would move to 7, and 7 would move into 8. But the only team that we have on the board is a 5, so this does not affect anything. So we're going to roll some more action action dice. Just want everybody to know that as we're reading, we are reading left to right with these dice. We have a number 9, which means we're going to swap teams' positions with 2d12. So we're going to queue up 2 12-sided dice. We're going to roll again, and unless we get a 5, get no action here. We do get a 5. We are moving a 5 to the number 9 spot. So he's only been on the board, the only team on the board. He's been in the 8th spot, the 5th spot, and now the 9th spot, kind of like Damien getting moved all over the place last night.
Wow.
The mad scientist. Number 11, we're going to lock a team unless for some crazy reason we get another 9 right now. We are not locking anybody, but crazier things have happened. All right, number 2. So we're going to re-roll some action dice. We got to get a team up on the board. Number 9, we're going to swap teams with 2d12. So unless we get a 9 in this roll, we will be rolling more action dice. All right, more action dice. We got to get a team on the board. Come on now. 7, finally. All right. This means we pull a team out of the hat. We roll the dice until we get a spot to put them in on the board. If we happen to roll a 9, they do not go into that spot. I'm missing a couple of words up here. Yeah, Damien says he's trying to take his title. Jink is out there. So, man, you're moving all over the board. 8, 5, 9. Let's see where you end up tonight. And then, yeah, definitely trying to take your spot. Damien went up on the board, I think, 3rd last night. Saw about every spot except for the spot that he wanted to be in. I think he ended up finishing in the 6th spot. So next up on the board is the Unicorn Legends. That is Misty. So let's queue up one 12-sided die. And if we roll a 9, we re-roll it. But she will be on the board here shortly in the number 12 spot. I don't know how she feels about that. She is currently filling up balloons downstairs for her first day of school next week for her kids. So I'm not sure if she's watching this or not. Tried to get her to get online, but I know the balloons are important to her, and I'm sure that she'll get the report from me by the time this is all done. Hoping she'll actually turn it on YouTube so the kids can watch too. Number 10, we're going to do a 3-team swap with 3d12. Only 2 teams on the board, so let's see if a 9 or a 12 become involved in this. Again, reading left to right. All right, so it's telling me that is 7, the 6, and the 8. That doesn't affect anything on this board, so we will roll again. The part you guys can't see is this. I've got this shrunk down, so you're only seeing the board. You don't get to see all the outer edge stuff. I'm saving you from having to see all of that stuff. 8 means that we are going to roll a d12 and put a team on the board. This number could replace a team, so if we get a 9 or a 12, that means this team will replace Jink or Misty, and then they will go back into the pot. And we are putting the Knights. Tony is going on the board right now, Matt. Let's figure out where he's going to go. 1d12. He is going in the number 4 spot. I don't know if he's out there watching tonight now or not. I know he is a busy kid, so we're not sure. And I don't want to say kid. I should say young man. I don't want him to come kick my butt for calling him kid. Busy young man, so I'm not sure if he's out there watching tonight now or not. All right, so we have 3 teams on the board. Let's roll some action dice. Number 8 means we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to roll a d12. And if for some reason this number that comes up has a team in a slot, we will replace it. If not, it will go into the hole. We are putting Carolina Nation and Ricky Ayers on the board. Let's figure out what spot we're putting him on the board. Putting him in the number 8 spot, so he's not replacing anybody, but he is going on the board. So now we have 4 teams. 1/3 of the board is full. Let's get him centered up nice and pretty. I don't know why I work so hard to do it, because everybody's going to move around again anyways. So what kind of expectations do you have for the region this year? 8. Doing the same thing again. Going to grab another team out of here, roll and replace if we need to.
Well, you know, I have some very colorful conversations that they're like, holy heck, MJ, it's going to be a bloodbath. At the very beginning, when I started, we had first half of the team picked.
Yeah, you have a great region. You absolutely do have a good competitive region. We got Matt Furby and the Ohio River Monsters getting ready to go on the board, and because this is 8, he could be replacing a team. And he is going to the number 3 spot. Nobody to have to replace in that spot, but he is going up on the board.
So
and we go back to what you were talking about at the beginning. You did end up with a perfect balance of Ohio, Georgia, and Texas people. You ended up with 4 from each state. And I know that was completely by accident.
It totally was. I was kind of shocked when I saw that. But I think, I really, after looking at it, just realizing the talent and pulling everybody together, it's really going to be a dogfight.
So this is one of your rookies that you picked this year. This is Sean Smith. This guy is out of Ohio. He's brought to us by Matt Little, also out of Ohio. They are co-workers together up in DFAS. So I got to say thank you to Matt for bringing him on board with us. We have rolled a 5, which means we will roll until an open position is filled. So if we happen to roll a 3, 4, 8, 9, or 12, we'll roll again. That is a 7 on my side, and there is nobody in 7. So the Lone Rangers are going on the board in the number 7 spot. Pretty straightforward after we got done with moving Devin all over the place. I think Chris says he wants to see some eyes. What kind of eyes do you want to see, Chris? Let's roll some action dice. We got 6, which means we're going to swap 2 teams' positions with 2d12. A couple of people on the board now, so this might actually play a part in something. All right, we got a 12 and a 5. So Misty's in 12 right now, and there's nobody in 5, so she will move into that spot.
Nice.
So we have 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom now. Chris saying, I want to see some eyes makes me think that I want to hear more cowbell.
You know what he wants.
Whenever he says that. All right, we got a 6. So we're swapping teams' positions again. 2 12-sided die already queued up. We are swapping the 5 and the 1. So Misty just went from the 12 to the 5, and now she is moving to the 1. I guess it's about as close as she could to get to the 1 again anyways. At being in that 12 spot, you just never know what's going to happen down there.
Well, the Jedi mind tricks. He's already over there, like, putting the thought of where he
he's trying to figure out, let's see, 8, 12, D12, and replace with 2. Yeah, he has not seen the board yet. Kevin Jedi mind tricks have not seen it yet. So we'll see if he comes out of the hat right now.
He's over there percolating that spot that he wants.
It is 8. So MJ, Southern Sirens, you're getting ready to go on the board. If we roll a number that is already occupied, we will replace you in there, and then that team will go back into the hat. So let's roll and see where you end up at. You are going in the number 9 spot, which has Jink is in it right now. So Jink will come off the board, and you will go on the board. So after him getting on the board and being bounced around quite a bit, he's coming off the board now.
Sorry, Jink.
Putting you in the 9 spot. And then, like we said the last 2 nights, the all-important thing is making sure that we get his logo back into the hat so we can pull him out again later. So,
yeah,
DJ, there's you going back into the hat right there. The missus is the number 1 spot. Something's going on. You said fix. Husband rigged it. Fix. Maybe I'll say that if she locks it at 1. Yeah, you know what's going to happen. She's going to, even if she stays there at 1, we got the final roll, which we'll go through the whole final roll rigmarole whenever we get there, and it's time. So there's a 6, means we're swapping teams with 2d12.
Yep. 5 years ago, Brian and I were at the 1 and the 12, and Brian got to go all the way back to number 12.
Yeah. So there's a 1 and a 1, so that doesn't affect the board at all. So we are re-rolling again. So no swapping made there. That is actually an 11 on my side. It is showing a 6 and a 5, which means we're going to lock a team. Only a lock in a team if we roll this 12-sided die, and the 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 come up. If not, there's no lock, and we will re-roll. And we are locking the number 11 spot. Nobody's in it, so we are going to re-roll. Number 11, lock again. That's interesting. We don't get that very much. Let's see if it comes up with one of the numbers that's on the board now. Number 12, nobody's in that spot. Let's re-roll again. All right, number 8 means we're going to pull a team out of the hat, and we will replace if the number that comes up has a team already in it. Last night, every time we put somebody in and then pulled right back out, it was a team that I just put in there, but not tonight. We got Turd Ferguson, Jason Norris getting ready to go on the board. Yes, great name. Awesome logo. Matt says, here comes the lock. Yeah, I kept thinking the same thing after you guys said that and said it was rigged. I go, here comes the lock, right? It'll go right on Misty probably. It really will look rigged. All right, so we got an 8 for Turd Ferguson. Let's figure out if he's going to replace somebody or just go into a hole. He is going into the number 6 spot. There is nobody there right now, so let's get him.
Dang, I thought it was the number 9. I was like, come on, Jason.
You always have to double check that because I don't press that little dot there in the corner to tell me if that's a 6 or a 9. So I look up.
I was like,
yeah. That's why I'm mad that I actually, the part that you can't see on the screen tells me the numbers. So that's helpful for me. That's why when there's somehow these dice end up on their side like that every once in a while, I have to look up there to see what that number is. All right, so we got a 10, which is a 3-team swap with the 3D12. So got 3 12-sided dice hooked up. Let's see what happens. See who gets moved around here. All right, from left to right, we got 2, 5, and 1. There's nobody in 2 to go to 5, nobody in 5 to go to 1, but we do have the number 1 that can go to the number 2. There you guys go. Misty's no longer in the number 1 spot. Maybe y'all will be happy. I don't know what that means. I don't know what this means, and nor do I know what that means. It's so funny. I wish you guys could see. I guess you can see when that pops up what that looked like. I don't know if it's because it's so small or what. That sure does not look like a snake to me, but whatever. Let's roll some action dice. Every time you guys put that up there last night, I kept thinking it was like some kind of leaf of some type. I didn't know what it was. All right, 4. We're going to move everybody up or down the board 1 spot based on a 12-sided die roll. If it's odd, everybody goes up. If it's even, it goes down. I need you to think about this like it's a ladder where the number 1 is at the top and the number 12 is at the bottom. And if we get an odd number, we move up the rung. And if we get an even number, we move down the rung. All right. I don't want anybody to think as we say odd number, we move up a position means we're going from the 1 to the 2 because that's a higher number. That's not how it works. And the board is circular. So if somebody's sitting in 1 or 12, they can roll over that board. It looks like a duck on your screen. Yeah, it's weird looking, right? Chris says he wants to go to wants to see Snake Eyes so he can go to bed happy. I'm still trying to make it 3 nights without it. Yeah, Misty could possibly go a bit back to number 1 right now. So we got 1 12-sided dice queued up. Let's see if we get an odd or an even. That is an even number that moves. Everybody's moving down 1 position, so she's not going up. So MJ, you go to 10. Carolina Nation goes to 9. Lone Rangers go to 8. Turd Ferguson goes to 7. Knights go to 5. Ohio River Monsters go to 4. Misty goes to 3. So there you guys go. She's not back at number 1. Let's roll some action dice. 10, which means we're doing a 3-team swap. And let's see what we get out of this. Reading left to right, we have 8, 3, 8. So we're basically just moving 8s and 3 around. So 8 would move into 3. 3 would move into 8. And 8 can't move back into 8. So everybody just stays there. So it's almost like a 2-team swap. So we're just moving 3 and 8 around. So now the Lone Rangers are in 3. Misty's in 8. Everybody seems to be keeping an eye on the Unicorn Legend. So we'll keep up with it. Another 3-team swap. So let's see what happens now. All right, we've got the 11 to 10 to 7. We've got nobody in 11, but we do have 10 that can go into 7. And then we got 7 that can go into 11. So, MJ, you're moving up the board to 7. Turd Ferguson moving down.
My spot open, guys. Right.
And Jedi Mind Tricks are still not on the board.
Jesus, just keep my spot open. That's right.
All right, so we've got to roll until we open up a position. We have 5 slots still left. So next team out of the hat, then we will roll. I'm going to have to keep up 1 12-sided die here in a second. Okay. The Mantis Mayhem and Matt Little is getting ready to go up on the board. And this one we roll until a spot that is open comes up on the dice. 12, really quick. So we got Matt going into the number 12 spot. You know, I just thought about this. You've got Matt Brown, Matt Little, and Matt Furby all in this region with you.
I got the M's. Misty.
Yeah, and
Matt,
I think there's one. There's one more Matt in the league too.
Yeah.
I think there's one more in the league. My brain's not working today. I'm still.
There's a lot of pairs in the league between family members, friends. Yep. I mean, it's interesting how it wasn't done intentionally, but yet it was. I don't know. It's a cool combination. I like it.
All right, we got 8, which means we're going to replace a team on the board with a D12 unless the spot is open. Jink, you're getting ready to go back on the board. Yeah, Matt says strong region. Well done. Yeah, I agree. I think MJ in there as well. Lots of M's in there. And Misty. Yeah, I mean, almost at this point, you almost think that maybe she did it on purpose with all the M's. So we got Jink getting ready to go up on the board. We got a 1D12 queued up because it is an 8. He could replace somebody, or he could just go on the board. He is going to the number 10 spot. Nobody is there. So he is just going on the board. That leaves just 3 spots left, 1, 2, and 6. That was easy. Definitely did not happen last night as we were doing this. We had a lot of rolls that we had to do over and over and over again to fill up holes. All right, 6 means we are swapping positions with 2D12. So let's cue this up. We are swapping a 4 and a 7.
Commentator back here. Kevin's like, swap away. I'm not on the board.
So MJ, you're moving up to 4. Kirby is moving to 7.
That's my spot.
Let's roll some action dice.
Let's go.
We have a 4 means everybody is going to move up or down the board with an odd or an even. So we are rolling an odd, which means everybody is moving up the board. So the Lone Rangers is going to 2. MJ, you're going to 3. Knight's going to 4. Furby going to 6. Misty going to 7. Ricky going to 8. DJ going to 9. Turd Ferguson to 10. And Matt Little going to 11. Let's roll some more action dice. Oh, God, that was so close. My heart almost fell out of my chest. All right, so we are going to pull a team from the board. We didn't get a number 3 in any of the nights before, I don't think. So we will roll, and if one of the numbers of the teams that are on there right now comes up, we will pull that team from the board, and they will go back in the hat. And that is the number 3. MJ, you're going back in the hat. And make sure I find you and pull you. There's your logo. Put you back in the hat. Let me pull you off the board and put you in the on-deck circle over here, on-deck square, I guess, in this case. Chris has so much action tonight. Let's see. What does he say? I was in a school seminar, so this week's silence. I've been having a heart attack. Let's see. So much action. All we need are the snake eyes. Yeah. Y'all be killing me. I hope these snake eyes don't come up. Like, you have no idea how, puckered my butthole is, so we won't get the damn snake eyes tonight. 6 means we're swapping teams' positions with 2D12. Got a lot of rolls going tonight, too. Too many to not have them yet. All right, 2D12 is 1 and 1. There's nobody in that spot anyways, so we'll roll some more action dice. There is an 8, which means we're going to pull a team out of the hat and replace if we need to. I'll see if you come out or not. Oh, we are taking Jedi Mind Tricks. Kev, you're finally going on the board. And because it's an 8, it's a possibility that you're going to replace a team. So let's see where you're going on the board. You are going in the number 8 spot. So Ricky Ayers is coming off the board. Jedi Mind Tricks is going into the 8 spot.
For now. And
then let me get Ricky put back in the hat. There's Carolina Nation. Let's get him back in the hat.
Kevin's over there booing.
He said wrong dice for the snake eyes. I don't know. Does that count? Anthony popped in, last year's world champion, popped in and said snake eyes. Wrong side of the board, bud. Y'all wish. Chris knows. He's definitely keeping us honest over here. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you. All right, let's roll some action dice. It's actually not so bad with you guys up there on the screen. I think I'm getting a little bit more cued into it. We got a number 5, means we're going to roll until an open position is filled. So the only spots that we got left are 1, 3, 5, and 12, but we got to pull a team out of the hat first. Speaking of, let's see, Matt Brown's team hasn't made the board yet, and neither has Anthony Monhays, the only two teams that have not made the board yet. We got Ricky going right back up onto the board. And because it is a 5, we have to roll until we get a 1, 3, 5, or 12. So this one could take a while. Oh, how about no? How about first time 3? Like when that stuff happens.
Tonight. Look at that.
We'll see here. We're down to the 3 spots. This is the part where I start getting really freaking nervous. All right, 8. It's a D12. We'll place a team if that number comes up. Lots of spots already filled on the board. So very good possibility that whoever comes to the hat now will be replacing a team. Aviators going on the board. And the correct logo for this team tonight, Matt, since I wanted to tell on myself last night, have the wrong logo, and then you called me out on it today too.
Number 5.
It. How about number 2?
I mean, that's even better.
He is going on the board in the number 2 spot. That means we are pulling the Lone Rangers off the board. Say again?
I said he took away Tony.
No. Tony's the Knights. Yeah, that's Sean, the new guy. The Lone Rangers. So anybody remember the movie? It had Brandon Fraser. I think it was Adam Sandler. And I forget who the other guy was. And I think they were a band. They called themselves the Lone Rangers. And they were trying to get their music played on the air or something like that. Somebody will be able to tell me what the name of the movie was. Kevin, what was it?
Oh, God.
See, Kevin remembers it, but what was the name of it? That's where his team name came from.
And there was that
Airheads. There you go. A couple people got it. Anthony Monhay and Sean both got it. So that's where the name the Lone Rangers came from for Sean. That's where it came from. No, I definitely did not leave you out of the hat. Anthony's the only one that still hasn't made. Well, we got to figure out how we can get him up on the board. So let's get a roll in here. We got 3 spots left, 3 teams left, 3 teams in the hat. We got a 10. We are swapping 3 teams with a 3D12. Lots of 3s going on. Let's see. We've got a 12, a 5, and a 3, and it goes out of order. There's nobody in 12 to go to 5. There's nobody in 5 to go to 3, but there is a 3 to go to number 12. So Ricky gets slid all the way down here to the number 12 spot. Let's roll some action dice. All right. 5 means we're going to roll until an open position is filled. So we've got the 1, 3, and 5 still left to fill. So this could take a couple of rolls to get somebody on the board with. And who are we putting on? Look at that. Lunatics finally coming out of the hat. So, Anthony, you're going up in the 1, 3, or the 5. Let's get 1 12-sided die queued up, and let's see how long it takes to get. How about 3 right away? Definitely on it tonight. It is happening fast.
One-time rolls, Brian.
Yeah, I'm liking that. All right, we got the 1 and the 5, and we got 2 teams left. It's you and the Lone Rangers left. Let's get some action dice. That is a 7. That means we're going to roll until a position is open. The only 1 in the 5. This one could take a while. Just got to figure out if it's going to be you or the Lone Rangers that's going up on the board. It is a Lone Ranger. So, MJ, you are still in the hat. So we've got to roll this one until we get the 1 or the 5. That's a 7. That's a 7 again. That's a 10. So we're going to roll this one for a while. So once we get down to this final spot, if we roll one of these easy ones, it's like a 5 or a 7 that says, roll until an open position is filled. We already know that you'll go into that last spot. But we also know a whole bunch of other things can happen on the action dice before that can happen. That's a 10.
Oh, yeah. You can flip the whole board. You can do a whole bunch of things.
So there's another 10. 1 and a 5 is what we're looking for. Damn, that's 3 10s in a row. There's a 6, 1 or a 5. Ooh, almost landed on the 1. Another 10.
Ooh-wee.
There's an 8. There's another damn 10.
5.
Sean says it's coming, Snake Eyes.
Come
All
on,
this just
5.
a restart. Y'all shut up with the restart, man. Don't think that I'm not over here like having heart palpitations and all kinds of issues. I gotta take my heart medicine here shortly. Good Lord. 1 or a 5.
Can you shake it a little harder, Brian?
Yeah, the random number generator says F you. I don't want to give you a 1 or a 5. got a 12% chance of getting one or the other, and we're not getting either one of them.
You might need to get a different dice out.
Yeah, I might have to. Good Lord. There's the 5. Okay. That is the 5. We put on the board, the Lone Rangers have to look down and figure it all out. That was so long. All right, so you'll go up in the number 1 spot if we get one of those easy ones here at the end. If we don't get a Snake Eyes. Oh, thank God. All right, locking a team on the board. I guess that still doesn't mean that we haven't gotten a Snake Eyes yet, because we can lock a team on the board right now. Everybody's filled except for the 1 position, so that means somebody's probably going to get locked at this point. For those who don't know, once a team is locked, they are completely locked. They cannot get moved up or down the board. That actually affects how some of the other rolls go, because now we have to jump over teams. And even if there is a Snake Eyes after this one, a team that is locked to the board does not come off the board even for a Snake Eyes. So let's roll to see who might get the lock put on them. Is the number 7 spot. That is Misty. So she is locked into the number 7 spot no matter what. So let's get that moved onto her logo here. See if I can get it moved up just 1 spot so it's actually on top. So we can see it. She cannot go anywhere no matter what happens. So she is in the number 7 spot right now. If you bet 10 the hard way, Brian is winning you some money with these 10s. Absolutely no doubt right now. We got a number 8, which means we are doing a D12 and replacing a team if the position is already filled. So, MJ, you're the only one in the hat. So we're pulling you out of the hat, and we're going to roll 1D12, and it's a possibility that you're going to replace one of these teams, and they're going to go back in the hat. And you are replacing number 4, so you are replacing Tony. So Tony's coming off the board and going back into the on-deck square. Tony's going in the hat, and the reason I want to do it and grab him and put him in there is because we've seen this happen where multiple teams have come off the board. That way we got all of the teams in the hat. There are the Knights right there. So let me get them back in the hat. Let's roll these dice again. This thing is just hanging on as almost it's teasing me that these Snake Eyes are going to come. So there's a 10. So there's 3 teams swap with a 3D12. So we're still not completely full yet. We are going to move the 3, the 1, and the 3. So the 3 moves into the 1. The 1 moves into the 3, the 3 moves into the 3, the 3 moves into the 1. So the 1, which is nobody there, would move into the 3. The 3 would move into the 3, which is itself. 3 moves into the 1. So Anthony, last year's world champion, is now sitting in the number 1 spot.
Right.
All right, let's do it all again. Y'all be killing me. Don't even talk about that stuff. 7. All right, so roll until an open position is filled. We don't have to roll. Tony's the last one in the hat. The Knights will go into the number 3 spot. And we made it through a 3rd night in a row without having any Snake Eyes. Let me take a drink because my voice is starting to go. Let's explain how this final roll will go. So what we do is we put away the 2 6-sided dice, and we bring up 2 4-sided dice instead. So with the 2 4-sided dice, you get a whole new chart for a final roll. When Chris says we're just saving it for Friday, yeah, watch it probably happen in Kevin's the Sasquatches region quite a bit. So the final roll, we do 2 4-sided dice instead. So let me reset and pull up 2 4-sided die. And then you get a whole new total now. You get 2 through 8 instead. A whole lot of things can happen on this board. So if you get a 2, 3, or 4, you're swapping 2, 3, and 4 teams with the 2, 3, 4 D12s. If you get a number 5, you're moving everybody up or down 1 position. If you get a 6, we are flipping a row. Here's how that looks. I will roll a 12-sided die. That number that comes up is the row that we will be flipping. And when we flip a row, let's use the first one for instance. 1 becomes 6, 2 becomes 5, and 3 becomes 4. And if the number happens to be in the bottom row, same thing happens at the bottom. Now, if we roll a 7, both rows do the same thing. 1 would become 6, 2 would become 5, 3 would become 4. And at the bottom, 7 becomes 12, 8 becomes 11, 9 becomes 10. If we get an 8, we flip the whole board. 1 becomes 12, 2 becomes 11, 3 becomes 10. All right. Everybody understand? So we're going to roll the 2 4-sided dice and see what we get. Percentage-wise, 5 should come up the most. But tonight we get a 7, which means we are flipping both rows. Now, the only row that does not have anything happen to it is this position that Misty's in because she's locked. So that means Ricky's stuck at 12, but 11 becomes 8. So, Kevin, you are moving down the board to 11. And DJ, you are moving from 9 to 10 as Turd Ferguson moves up, because we are flipping both rows, even though you were just in the number 1 spot. Last year's world champion is now in the number 6 spot. The Lone Rangers and the Aviators are swapping. And MJ, you are going from 4 to 3. There is your final draft order right there. Anthony says that he actually prefers the number 6 spot instead. So hopefully you like that. Jink, how do you feel about the number 10 spot? Matt Brown says he hates the number 5 spot, not liking that at all. This is why we do this. Like, you just never know. I kind of like that we've changed the way we do the final roll here too.
That final roll's kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I don't
the
know
way that we used to do it was we used to roll the 2 6-sided dice still.
Yeah.
And even if, let's say, we rolled even if you rolled a 7, then that means nothing happened to the board. It just stayed as it was. So you have a chance of something happening or nothing happening. At least in this case, something happens. Now, I kind of got the idea from Toby Keller. He adopted this to do this in his leagues as well with the dice. And what he's done is, unless he's changed his final roll list, he used to still just keep the same list as the 2d6. But if something came up like a 5 or a 7 where nothing was going to happen, he would re-roll it to make sure something did happen on that final roll. So that got me thinking when he told me that, well, let's just make sure that we have a list where something that will happen. And I don't want the list to be really big. It was hard for me to come up with 11 other ideas as well, too. So just ended up deciding to do this with the 2 4-sided die instead. It's been fun. I think the first 2 draft orders that we did, we ended up with a 5 at the end of the night, which just basically moved everybody up or down 1 spot. And statistically, with 2 8-sided dice, the 5's supposed to come up the most, which is kind of why I did that, so it doesn't affect the board too much. But tonight, we got lucky enough to get a 7, so we flipped both rows around. And there we are. That is your final draft order for the Dragons region. I will do a screenshot of this, and I'll put it over in Discord. I'll put it out on all the social medias tomorrow. Let's reiterate to everybody for your draft time. You are going to be on the 24th of August at 6 p.m. So we will get you locked in and do that. Hey, if anybody's out there that's watching this that's not actually part of the FSA, and I don't know what are the chances that's actually happening, and you want this done for your league, let me know. And we can talk offline about putting something together for your league. Or if you are part of FSA, you run your own league and you want me to do this for you, or if you know somebody else who commissions a league that you're in and you like this idea and you want them to use it for that league, let me know and we'll do it as well. So Matt says, thanks, Commish. You're welcome, sir. Thanks, MJ.
Oh, you're welcome, Matt.
And then Anthony says, good luck. And no, thank you, brother. Hit me up sometime this week if you get a chance to. I'm just sitting at home playing, doing the stay-at-home dad thing. So if you want to talk, man, give me I'll get you in the studio and we'll have a little chat. All right, MJ, thank you for everything tonight. Thank you for drafting a good region. Thank you for listening to my craziness as we first got on and I was losing my mind about all of this and still thinking my house was on fire somewhere.
I think it was a fur bunny. Still
I think you're right, but it's so crazy that it would be inside the computer and smell that strong. Literally, we thought the whole entire man cave was on fire. That's how strong it smelled. So,
and it thought AC was heat and heat was AC. So when every time it tried to cool, it heated the house.
Okay, so Kevin just wanted to say something that you might want to check the AC because he had a failure on his AC where the thermostat tried heating instead of cooling, and it was a thermostat failure in the thermostat. So
I'm wondering if that could have been what it was, because like we told you, both Misty and I thought it could have been. It smelled like, that burnt hair or dust from, hey, you're switching from AC to heat as we get into the fall months and stuff like that, because it was so strong in the room. I'm not wondering if that wasn't what it was.
You might want to check. It might be something going on with your thermostat. Because remember, you had
completely be. When we first moved in, we weren't getting any heat, and then since then we've had it worked on twice as well. So you're absolutely right. I appreciate that. Thanks for the knowledge. Yeah, Anthony says he's off on Friday. My hop in the office are getting there. Yeah, absolutely. We got to sit down and talk, man. We still have to do. I know you don't know this, but we still have to do one more thing for your boards, which is why you don't have them yet. So if you're still out there watching this right now, we definitely got to get in and get that done. And hopefully you're feeling better. I know both you and the wife came down with COVID, so let me know how you're doing as well. Just hit me up with a message on Discord if you're still out there. All right, everybody. Thank you for another good draft order show. We will have the Cerberus region tomorrow with Sean Purcell as the regional manager. And then on Friday, we will have the Sasquatch region with Kevin Godwin as the regional manager. And we will have them both at 8:30 as well, East Coast time on YouTube. Everybody have a great night. Thank you all for being here. And we will see you again tomorrow night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.